Looky what I got. This pair of glasses has a camera right there, see? Ooh. So I'm gonna try to use these to do a string tutorial and see how it works. Several people have asked me to do one of these, so here I go. All right, first let me explain, this is my string jig. Now there are people that make Flemish strings without a jig. There's some people on YouTube, so you can just search that. But let me just give you the dimensions of this. First of all, this whole board is 30 inches long. This is a 2x4. This peg all the way to the end, almost 28 inches. I think it's supposed to be 28 inches. These are spaced a ½ inch apart, and across this way it's a little over an inch, about 1.25 inches. And then these, from here, starting about 2 inch, this is the 48 inch, 50 inch, 52, 54, 56, etc. And I got these over here for doing like really long bows. So what these measurements are, these are not the length of the string. This jig is not designed for the length of the string. It's designed for the length of the bow. So if you see 58 inch, that means for a 58 inch bow. So it's designed to where it's designed to where the string will be 3 inches shorter than the bow. So anywho, I'm going to use yellow and brown. Now whenever I have a spool of string like this where, well, I'll explain in a second. These spools are sold in a 1/4 pound increments, I think. And this is B50 Dacron. You can get it at Three Rivers Archery. And I think there's other places they sell it, but I can't remember where. But anyway, usually when I have one that's almost empty and that's not enough to make a string out of, I'll use this to make an accent, and I'll just tie that on first. Just make a little square knot and tie it on there. Make sure the cat stays out of trouble, and wrap that around once. I'm gonna make this for a, you know what, I forgot how long the bow is. I think the bow is 64 inches. Let's go with 64 inches. And if that's wrong, I'm sure I can use this string for something else. And then I'll hold that here and tie on the next string. Get away from those. Bad kitty. I don't need this either. Now if you don't want to do these accents, just tie the brown one on there and just wrap that around. Now I'm going to do a 14 strand string, which is what I usually do. So I'm going to do 7 of each color. So the green counts as 1. This will count as 2. And every time I go up here, I go to the next peg. I start from there, I wrap around, go there, wrap around, go there, and just keep working my way down until I get 7 strands. That's 2 strands. If you lose count, you can just count them. Don't count that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll do 2 more. Most of my bows are like right around 50 pounds, so 14 strands is about right for that. It may be different for other string material. And this string comes pre-waxed, which is nice. Okay, so now that I've got all that, I kind of hold these a little bit tight. And you can take a pocket knife or a razor blade or whatever. I'm using a wine bottle doohickey, and just cut all those. The advantage of using one of these jigs instead of doing it freehand is that it automatically staggers the length of all these strands. So I usually grab it right here where everything's still together, because if you grab it over here, you're gonna have a mess. So just grab it like right there and take it off. Now you don't want to have any kinks, because if you have any kinks, then there's going to be one of these strands where there's no pressure on it, and everything else is going to have to take up the slack. So kind of comb it out like that, and once you get it combed out, just grab it and smooth it so it all sticks together like so, and then wax about 18 inches or so. Just hold it between your thumb and wax like that, and just drag it through there like that, and do it several times. And now we're going to go back down. This combing is just to make sure there's no kinks. Just comb it with your fingers all the way down. Cats love this stuff, but they're trained not to attack it, because they know I won't like it if they do. Oh, bad kitty. I haven't made a string in a long time, so maybe they forgot. Don't do it, Aristotle. Don't do it. Just working my way down. Stop it. And wax that. I like to be generous with the wax. It makes the string hold together easier. And you need those loops to hold together. Okay, and I just put that somewhere where the cats won't mess with it, if such a place exists. And let's start on the other one. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to make a green strand. Let's say 64. Yeah, 64. For recurves, the string is usually supposed to be 4 inches shorter, whereas long bows are supposed to be 3 inches shorter than the length of the bow when measured. Whoops, stupid me. Got distracted. I only wanted to do 1 strand of green, not 2. So I'm unstranding that one. Okie dokie. Let's start with the yellow, shall we? Can't really tell if these glasses are pointing in the right direction so you can see what I'm doing. But I'm sure you figured it out by now. Go down there. This will be 2. And now we're going to do 4. Some people can make these strings in like 10 minutes. I'm slower than that. Maybe I can make them faster if I didn't use a jig, but I like using the jig. And 1 more. Okie dokie. If you hold that down with your pinky like that, it keeps it from, going boing, yang, 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 you know what I mean? Okie dokie. I always keep these in Ziploc bags because, you know, with all that wax on there, they attract dust. And you don't want dust on your string, so I keep them in a plastic bag. And I keep the plastic bag in a box with all my other string making stuff. This cat right here likes to chew plastic, so I have to keep this box hidden or she'll get into it. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with this bundle. I should tell you the terminology. This is a strand. That's a strand. This whole thing is a bundle, and when I twist it together, it'll be a string. Strand, bundle, string. There you have it. Just for ease of communication. Combing it out. Aristotle's getting ready for the big string hunt. Wax it. This is, I'll also get this at Three Rivers Archery. It's like a combination of beeswax and something else in there. I'm not sure what else is in there, but it's just sold as a bowstring wax. Don't do it, Aristotle, get back. Don't be a bad kitty. Ooh, how he wants to. He's fighting back his animal urges right now. Okay, now that I've got everything, now we can start twisting the string. This is the fun part. First put the two strands together and line up the ends like that. And then measure off about 7 or 7.5 inches, 7.25, something like that. Every jig turns out, unless you're like a machine or something, every jig is just a little bit different. So you have to experiment here. Mine works if you do it about 7 inches. If you do your string and your string turns out to be too long, then all you got to do is just go up to 8 inches or something like that, and that'll shorten your string. And it's just trial and error. After you make your first string, you'll know where you need to be. I'm going to do it about 7.5 inches. You do have a little bit of flexibility with Flemish strings because you can twist them to make them shorter or untwist them to make them tighter. So this is how I'm going to twist them. I got both of these bundles in my hand. I put my 2 fingers between these 2 bundles just so I can, you know, keep marked where I started. And I'm going to take the top one, I'm going to twist it in my hand like that, grab this one like that, and twist it like that. And then I'm going to take this one, twist it, grab that one, and do that number. And I'm going to keep doing that. Twist it that way, grab, pull it that way. Now notice that I'm twisting the bundles this way, but I'm twisting them together the opposite direction. So twist this way, then this way. This way, then this way. And just keep doing that. Until you get enough to make a loop. What I do is like I take it like this and see if that loop's big enough. It's like it needs to be a little bit bigger. So I'll twist maybe a couple more turns. Take it again. That's big enough. Now when I bring them together, you want to bring light colors together. These two go together, and these two go together. And you just smooth them in there. That's what that wax is for, so that it sticks together. Makes it easier to twist. Now you grab the loop in this hand, and you do the exact same thing in the exact same direction. Twist it like that, and then like that. Twist that way, and then that way. That way, and that way, and that way, and that way. And you want to keep doing that until all these little ends are twisted in there. So let's just keep going. Well, would you look at that? Just look at it. Now you should keep in mind, whenever you're twisting, whenever you twist this way, this right here will kind of stay the same. So you'll actually get counter twist on the bottom of it. One way to reduce the amount of counter twist you get is to stand up on a chair and do it. Let's check it out. If you stand up on a chair and do it, then these things can just kind of dangle, and they can, all that counter twist will just get itself out. So, but you know, the cats, it attracts cats. I'll just say that. Maybe even try, look at that. He's hiding under the chair like I don't see what he's doing. Almost there. Stop it. Comb it out every now and then. And once you get all the ends twisted in, stop it, Aristotle. Can't you see I'm trying to make a video? Take a twisty tie. Put the twisty tie around it, like that. And now we're going to twist the other bundle. Now think with me for a moment. When we twist this other bundle, we got to be careful to keep both of these strands at the same tension, because if one of them's tight and the other's loose, then that'll weaken the string, because all the tension will be on one strand. This right here won't be carrying any load. So to make sure that they're going to have the same tension, you got to basically do the same thing as you did. Well, before we do that, before we comb them out, remember when I was talking about that counter twist? When you're twisting this loop, you can just kind of let the counter twist work its way out like that, just by dangling it. But when you put it on the other loop, there's no way for that counter twist to get out, because it'll run up against this loop. It's stuck. So if you're twisting over here and you're getting counter twist over here, then your string will not hold together. It'll unravel on you. So to account for that, what I do is I just put some twist in it to begin with. Just put it on my leg like that and just roll it away from me. See, that's putting a little bit of twist in there. That way, when I start getting counter twist, this will just kind of unwind a little bit, and then your string won't unravel on you. I smooth it like that just so it'll hold a little bit, because when I let go of it, some of that's going to come out. There's nothing we can do about that. And do the other one. Just roll it on my leg. Okay, now that I got all that counter twist in there, I just want to comb it out. Smooth it out like that. Make sure that there's no kinks. And go all the way to the end. And ideally, if you do it just right, these will be exactly the same length. They're not always exactly the same length, because nobody's perfect, but we're going to measure out another 7 inches. Or actually, for me, I'm going to go a little bit more than 7 inches. Maybe 7.5. Okay. Well, like I said before, if you want to make a shorter string, just go up to like 8 inches or whatever. If you want to make a longer string, go down. So, again, twist like that, twist away, grab it. Notice how I'm twisting it exactly like I did the other one, you know, as if I hadn't even done the other one. Twist this away, towards, away, towards, away, towards, away, towards. And just keep on doing that. Now you want the top loop to be just a little bit longer, a little bit bigger than the bottom loop, because when you unstring the bow, you want to be able to slide the loop down the limb a little bit. What I usually do is I don't really measure them to see which one's bigger or whatever. I just make them, and it always turns out one of them happens to be just a smidgen bigger than the other, and then I use that one for the top limb. Smooth that together. And now we're going to twist these together. Again, it's a good idea to do this standing on a chair so it can dangle like that, and you won't get all knotty on you. You don't want your string to get knotty. Just giving you some background music. In a minute, I will go to the bathroom and look in the mirror so that you can see what I'm doing better. Okay. Now I'm going to put another twisty tie on this. Now I'm going to take you to the bathroom so I can show you what I do next. Although it'll be backwards. It'll be backwards. Hello. So, here's my two loops. Let's get a close-up of the loops. Ooh, aren't those pretty? Okay, so I put my thumb on there, stretch it, put a little pressure on that, don't be afraid. Now ideally you won't have any slack in there on either of them. Okay, while you're holding it tight like that, go ahead and twist it in the same direction that the loops are twisted in. If you start twisting it in the wrong direction, you'll know it. So there you go, just twist it like that. And there you have it. That's the string. Now we're going to put it on the bow. We're going to put it on the bow, man. Let me stop it. No, let's just keep it rolling. Let's go find the bow, man. Where's the bow? There's the bow. I'm still in the middle of putting a finish on it, so the bow is in the process of drying. Well, actually, it's already dry, but I got to put one more coat of finish on it before it's all said and done. Okay. Oops, sorry, kitty. Kick the cat. Dadgummit. All right, so let's see which one of these loops is bigger. It looks like this one's bigger. So we're going to put that one on the top limb. And slide it down a wee bit. And put that one up there. We're going to find out if it's the right size. It's just... Oh, way too long. This must be a 62-inch bow. I forgot what size the bow was, so... That's okay, though. I got a 64-inch bow we can put this on. We'll just find another bow. We'll go to the bow rack. Let's see now. This'll do. I guess I'll have to make another string for that bow. Here's some stringer. It's still a little bit too short, which means that all I got to do is twist it up a little bit tighter. A little bit tighter. I might should have gone to 7 3/4 inches when I was measuring off the loops. So just take that off. and just twist this a wee bit tighter. Now the string is going to stretch a little bit, mind ya. Oops. So don't get all freaked out about it if the string fits at first and then you shoot it a little bit and you notice your brace height has gone down. That's normal. Some people like to pre-stretch the strings, but I don't see the point of that. You can just have it stretch when it's on the bow. Still too long. Well, you don't really want to twist it tighter than that, but I'm going to twist it tighter anyway because apparently I've got to. We'll just twist it a wee bit tighter after we get the stringer on it. Just a wee bit tighter. We get this to the right length, then I'll show you how to put the server on it. Serving, I think. Ugh, this string is just too long. That's no problem. But let's deal with it anyway. Okie dokie. The first thing you want to do is when it's dark outside, you want to pull your shades so that nobody can see what you're doing. Somebody's watching me, and I got no privacy. Whoa, whoa. It always feels like somebody. Okay, we gotta move the computer. And we've got to turn the light on so you can see what I'm doing. Huh. Well, there's not a whole lot of light in here. What am I going to do? Alright, I'll do this in here. I'll just move these in here so that you can see what I'm doing. Somebody's watching me. Oop. Just gonna put the bow right there. And this is a serving tool with a spool of thread on it. We're gonna need a pair of scissors. What do you see then? How to put the server? Now you want the server to be high enough so that when you've got your fingers on it and stuff, you're not touching the edge of the server. So maybe about that high. And you want it to be low enough so that when you shoot the bow and the string hits your arm, you want the server to hit your arm, not the string. So maybe down to like right there. So you know, about right there. Just loosen it up. Now I don't recommend getting this kind of server. I've had problems with this server. There are some servers where it's really, I'll show you in just a second. You know what I also need? I need a pair of pliers. A pair of needle nose pliers. Whoa, whoa, it always feels like somebody's watching me. Okie dokie. So put about that much on there. Hold it like that. Kind of push it against the string. It's got wax, so it'll stick a little bit, which is handy. And then you just wrap that around there. Now you're going to be wrapping towards this way. So you're wrapping over this string. And you keep doing that. A little slow at first, but it'll speed up in a little bit. Oh, I gotta tighten this up. Oops. Make sure all those lay together. Yes, kitty. Yes, kitty. I do love hymns. I do love hymns. Okay, once you get about that much on there, then take this strand, flip it over to the other side, and keep going. See that little groove in there? You want to keep going until the server gets up to the groove. And once it gets up to the groove, I'm going to flip it around. Once it gets up to the groove, you can slightly loosen it so that the server will keep the tension. You can just wrap it around. Now what I was about to say a while ago is if you have a good serving tool, you can just move the string like that, and the serving tool will flip it around there. I've seen people serve string really fast that way. The problem with mine is it'll get tight and then loose and tight and loose again. I put a little spring right there, and that helps a little bit, but it's still, I can't serve it like super fast. I got to do it like this. And just serve it all the way down. The purpose of this serving is to protect the string. So when the serving wears out, you can just replace it. You don't have to replace the whole string. Whereas if the string wears out, you do have to replace the whole string, which is unfortunate. It always feels like somebody's watching me, and I got no privacy. Whoa, whoa. Look at that. We're almost down to the arrow shelf. Probably put that a little bit too high, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. It mattereth not. And this serving string, this is thread. You can also use fishing line. It's sold at, I get it at Three Rivers Archery, but you can get it at most archery shops. And it's just called serving thread. It's a little bit thicker than normal sewing thread, but just slightly so. I think it comes in different diameters, but I never really pay attention to that. If you use 14 strands of this and you use this serving, the thickness will be about right for most arrows, most nocks. But you know, if you're using like fast flight strings or something like that, you know, you might have to put an extra layer of serving just to thicken up the string so that it'll snap into your nock of your arrow. It always feels like somebody's watching me, and I got no promise. I have no idea if the camera is actually pointing at this so that you can actually see what I'm doing. It's very important when I get to the end of this that you pay attention. We need to pick another song, don't we, Aristotle? You sing me a song, kitty? Cats don't sing. They howl. Except for my cats, they don't howl. They just purr and they meow because they're happy kitties. Aristotle's not that happy right now because he's got an allergy, skin allergy or something. So he's got little patches of his hair missing where he's been scratching himself. It's been going on for a while now too. And the vet's not helping much. So my sister found a dermatology place for pet allergies. So I'm going to take him there, see if they can fix him. It always feels like somebody's watching me. I think we're just about there. Maybe a little bit more. Be too long than too short, I think. Okay, now you get it to about as long as you want it. Loosen it up. Draw some string out, like so. And then you're going to wrap it around the same direction. You've been going around this direction, so just wrap it around the same direction, like this. And now you want to go inside that loop. Instead of going this way, you're going this way. When I learned how to do this, I had a really difficult time figuring out what they were doing by the pictures. This will all make sense in a minute. And I guess that's about long enough. Once you get it about long enough, draw it out to about right there. Hold that. Make sure this is all tight. And all you're going to do is just wrap this loop around. And as you're wrapping it around right here, it's going to be unwrapping over on this side. Is that clever or what? So you just wrap it around until it's completely unwound. Takes a little bit of manual dexterity. We're almost there. Oh look, we made it. Okay, once you get it all the way out, and hold this loop and pull it through like that. You don't want to let go of that loop because then you'll get a kink in there, a little knot, and that's not good. So just hold the loop as long as you can, and then you can give it a little tug. You don't want to pull it too tight because you don't want it to bite into the string. And cut it off. And then take the other end. That's why I got the needle nose pliers. Pull it, make sure it's snug, and you can cut that off too. Now you can put a little dab of glue on both sides of this to keep it intact, but I think that kind of defeats the purpose, because the purpose of serving string is that it's removable. You want it to be removable. So if it comes unraveled, so what? I'll just put some more on. I'm not going to put glue on it. Okay, once you got the serving on there, then you come to the kitchen and you get your favorite pair of surgical scissors. These are my surgical scissors. And you cut out all these. First of all, you can take these twisties off and cut off all these little loose ends. You have to get it perfectly close. Just makes it look tidy. Okay, once you have all those cut, then you take the wax, put that on the loop, and put it all the way down the bow. Just rub it on there, and then rub it like that. Don't rub up and down, just grab it, rub down, grab it, rub down, so that all the strings sort of lay down on it. And then this part you can rub up and down. As you're rubbing it up and down, that'll heat up the wax, and the wax will melt a little bit, and it'll get into the string better and stay in there. That'll help the string hold together, and it'll also protect the string against moisture. So let's do the other side now. Take off Mr. Twisty. It always feels like somebody's watching me, and I got no privacy. Well, it doesn't have a whole lot of loose ends. Cannot get that one. Okay, that's good enough. Some of those ends, as the string stretches, will get pulled up into the string, so they'll just go away on their own. Heat it up. And that's it. Now you've got a string and you can go shoot. So when you start pulling on the string like that, it'll stretch a little bit. So there you have it. All right, that's it. Now you know how to make a Flemish bowstring. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.